moving that closer? You want me to? Look, I can move mine. No, I'm asking to move that closer to us. Don't be so far away.
No, I'm going to move Tanya's camera up.
Yeah.
Swap it around.
You want me to swap it out now so already can see it?
Hey, guys and me, do you have any problems with me moving that closer to us? So he can hear our questions? Or y'all wanted to stay there? Y'all the photographers,
To
right?
stay there mainly because of separation from everybody as far as just the angles. Some of the other cameras are stuck in.
Too close or not to be able to see from the side.
How we doing? Don't everybody speak at once. How y'all doing?
How you doing?
Hanging in there.
Let's see, y'all already said it. Sheriff is gonna. Yeah, he got it. Yeah, he got it. Yeah, I actually. Thanks. So, do you want to? Yeah, whatever you want.
All right.
We have a request. Everybody's gonna shift this way. Just watch the ants right here.
Why are we shifting?
They want that behind you.
It's bright white. It's bright white. It's bright white.
The white background.
No, okay, we don't shift.
Really bad.
White is
Yeah.
a terrible backdrop for you, Sheriff. We want you to look
But
good.
the white background.
Don't say Sheriff runs right underneath it.
Yeah, we're going to put it good, and then we're going to pull up on you. Yeah, white is never a good look.
So not this way?
No, we're going to get right here and stay where we are. So we're going to get that over. Oh, no.
Yeah.
Hey, just watch the ants on the side right here.
Just right.
Oh, on the side. Okay, okay. Gotcha. Whew. Let me know when everyone's ready. Everybody good? Okay. Good evening. I appreciate your patience and waiting for us to set this up. We've been very busy, as you can imagine. Want to update you and the community here of a situation that occurred earlier this morning. This morning at around 9:28 a.m., two Robeson County Sheriff's deputies came up here to an address off of Old Red Springs Road just outside of Maxton to serve a warrant on a suspect named Sean Tobin Locklear Jr. It was a warrant for violating his pretrial release, and I'll talk about that in just a minute. As some deputies approached the residence where he was at, he spotted the deputies and ran through a wooded area. A couple of deputies started pursuit through the wooded area. The suspect was able to come over on this road that you're on now through the backyards of a couple of houses and was met head on by two other deputies coming at him from a different angle. The deputies were looking for him. They could hear him in the woods. All of a sudden, they spotted him behind a tree. They pulled their weapons and asked him to put his hands out so they could see his hands. The suspect then jumps out from behind a tree and opens fire on both deputies. All of this is on body camera too, by the way. The suspect shoots multiple times. At least one of the deputies fired back multiple times. But in the melee, both deputies are struck. One deputy is struck at least 3 times in the upper body. One deputy is shot in the leg, in the area of the femoral artery. Both deputies basically fall to the ground. The suspect jumps in one of the deputies' cars and immediately, now this is after he's fired off at the deputies, he's immediately starts backing up and runs over one of the deputies, breaking the deputy's leg. The other deputy on the scene opens fire on his patrol car. The video will show that the suspect backs at a fast rate of speed into one of the other patrol cars and makes a getaway out of the yard on this Old Red Springs Road. He goes about a half a mile down the road, switches off vehicles, and is on his way in toward Maxton. We assume going toward the hospital in Laurinburg because he has been struck about 4 to 5 times. Deputies were able to stop him on the road and take him into custody. Of course, he was transported by an ambulance. All of the two deputies were transported to the hospital immediately by deputies on the scene rather than waiting on an ambulance. The closest ambulance came up on the suspect first, so they started treating the suspect. All 3 were transported to Scotland Memorial. One has been the suspect has been transferred to Chapel Hill Hospital. The other 2 are at Cape Fear. All of them, 2 of them are in surgery as we speak. The suspect is in critical condition. One of the deputies is in serious condition and expected to recover. He has shrapnel near his heart. He is being flown to the hospital now from Scotland County. And the other deputy is in critical condition, undergoing surgery on his leg and trying to repair the femoral artery. Now, what I really want to get to is the part that disgusts me about this whole situation. And I'm letting you know I am 100% disgusted by certain parts of the judicial system. This suspect was out on bond for a robbery that occurred. Let me get my date straight. He is out on bond for a robbery that occurred back on March the 20th of 2022. Robbery with a dangerous weapon, felony fleeing and eluding a law enforcement officer, injury to personal property, and fictitious registration plates. He made bond that day on those on felony charges and a few misdemeanors. He made bond that day. Well, after that, he committed a murder that occurred on November the 29th of 2022, the same year. He committed a murder and has been arrested for that murder. He was released on bond through pretrial release on May the 5th of 2023. Now, the disgusting part about all of this is he's out after already committing a felony, an armed robbery, earlier. The district attorney did his job at the hearing. He fought to keep the guy locked up. The defense attorney, I guess, did his job, fighting to get him out. Even the pretrial release people didn't want this guy released on bond. And a judge, that I'll find out who it is, granted that pretrial release. And here we are almost praying that we don't have a dead deputy, leading to this what happened here today. I'm not only disgusted that are disgusted. Tanya, I think you've talked to some of them. These people are disgusted about what's going on in this county. I'm sure what's going on in the state and across the nation as well. But had this guy been locked up where he's supposed to be, yes, our jail is full, but I can make room for a murder suspect. I have never seen it in such a way where murderers are walking around in this county like they are. There are dozens that are doing it right now. A plastic bracelet on your leg on pretrial release for murder means nothing. It was cut off. That's the reason we had the warrants to come find him. A couple of weeks ago, deputies spotted him. They tried to catch him. He got away, but in his getaway, he drops a couple of Glock switches, which is the switch that makes your gun an automatic gun. He dropped those. So we've reached out to the ATF and federal authorities to try to prosecute him through the federal courts, in addition to whatever occurs to him on the murder. So, you know, I put this press release off later this afternoon because I was really disgusted this morning. I could have really said some bad things, and I'm going to hold off on that. But I'm not done. I'm tired of dealing with it. I'm not a political sheriff. I think most people know that. I'm sick of it, and we're going to do something about it in this county one way or the other. Today's election day for a lot of local elections. We've got another election coming up in 2026, and people need to pay attention. We're ready for questions.
Sheriff, will we be able to get that footage from those body cams?
Is it the court order?
The court order.
Yeah, we have to do it through a court order. Yeah, we have called into ATF, and the SBI is here processing our scene for us. They're handling the officer-involved shooting part of this. We're handling the actual overall investigation.
So, give us the number of people that have been shot.
Three.
2 deputies and
The suspect. Yes.
And the suspect was shot 4 times, and the deputy shot multiple.
The suspects have shot at least 4, maybe 5 times. The deputies, to give you a little bit of information about these guys, Deputy Jonathan Walters has been a deputy for about 3 years, a sworn deputy. He was a detention officer prior to that and a Lumberton police officer prior to that. So he has several years of law enforcement experience. He is the deputy that got run over by a patrol car, stolen patrol car. Deputy Kalen Locklear, he has been a deputy sheriff for about 2 years, also started at the detention center. So he has several years with the county of Robeson. Both of them are great deputies. I think most people will speak very highly of both of them. In fact, Deputy Jonathan Walters' wife is a telecommunicator, and thankfully she was not working this morning when this occurred.
When you talk about this neighborhood here in this area,
Yes.
and the frustrations that the families that live here have,
Yes.
what are some of the examples that you can give us that cause this problem, number one? Number two, what are you going to do to fix that problem?
Yeah, the problems in this area, and have been problems in this area, is guns and drugs. This community actually on this road has the largest community watch in the county. We routinely attend the meetings here. In fact, the community watch is right across the street from where this occurred at. And we hear the disgust in their voices and all throughout the month. You're in the area of Maxton. This is a huge area here next to the Hoke and the Scotland County line. And it's going to be drugs. I mean, it's just that simple. The majority of the crime, the majority of the shootings that we've had, everyone wants to talk about our crime rate in the county. It's going to be bad when they give you the crime rates for this year. When you get them next year, they're always a year behind. We've had 37 murders this year. That's a record for this county. That's unbelievable. And something's got to change. We're doing our job. We've proven here that we've arrested this guy twice. And now look what's happened. Almost killed 2 deputies today, coming out to do their job.
How do you fix that problem?
Which,
With the court system letting them out.
what I just said, I'm asking people to vote. I'm asking people to vote. They can vote me out too. But in 2026, when elections come up, study who's doing this. The records are public at the clerk's office. You can see what judges are letting these people out. We have some great judges that are setting high bonds, and I understand that bond can't be used as punishment. Bond is there to assure an appearance. But to give a person a lower bond and put them on pre-trial release and let them put a plastic band on their leg only to come out and do this again today, that's a joke. That's an absolute joke. It's a travesty to this system.
Well, what type of weapon did the suspect use?
Anybody know?
He had a handgun.
A handgun. That's all we can do. We let the SBI deal with the entire crime scene once everything happened. Yes.
You've been preaching this for a long time. Pre-trial release stuff. He was in court in June. I saw him in court in June. Are they not? The court system not tracking to make sure that they're doing what they're supposed to do?
I can't really speak for the court system. The district attorney was here this morning, Matt Scott, and he and I talked, and he got some folks on the phone, and we listened as they were going over the records and some of the hearings that had been held, and it was very clear that the district attorney's office was against his being released. And then, as you see, he was released supposedly to work on a farm. The bracelet's been cut off his leg since September. It just took us this long to catch him.
The deputy that was transported, was he transported by another deputy in his POV?
They were transported in a pickup truck, in the back of a pickup truck by other deputies. Both deputies.
Sheriff, I hear some of the neighbors kind of pitching to buy a tourniquet.
They did. I'm glad you brought that up. I just went and thanked them for that. This shooting and all happened right in the backyard of 2 neighbors there. Very active community watch again right here in the neighborhood. One came out with a belt that they used for a tourniquet on his leg, and the other one came out with a towel. And I just thank those folks for helping us with that.
So this shooting didn't originate at that house where the scene is. It originated somewhere else and he cut through the woods?
No, the actual shooting itself,
The shooting happened at this house, but he was running from another location where the deputies had first spotted him.
yeah. There's another dirt road that's kind of through these woods here with a canal that separates the two. And he came across the canal through these backyards just the other side of this wood line here.
So where did they encounter him first?
Where
They encountered him first on Lois Ann Drive, which if you go down this road, make a left on the Clark Road, it's a dirt road to your left, which is the location of his residence.
And that's where he took off?
That's where he took off through
yes,
the woods.
they seen him in the yard and then he took off running.
Yes.
And he got in once he shot the officers, he wasn't shot at the time when he jumped in the patrol car.
Yeah, he runs, there's a lot of gunfire, and again, this is video footage from some homes and body camera footage. A lot of gunfire taking place just the other side of this wood line in the backyard of one of the homes. You can't really tell. We got to look at the other deputy's body camera. We haven't seen the other one. You can't really tell if the suspect is hit at that time or not, but he clearly jumps into a patrol car and then just floors it and runs into another patrol car that's parked in the driveway down there. And then the deputy, I don't think, but I'm not really sure which deputy opened fire, but one of the deputies opened fire on him in the car after he struck the deputy.
Isn't he around 15?
20.
Sir, how long do you think it will take before this area will be opened up again?
They told us a couple of hours ago, and that was about an hour ago. So they have a lot of different investigators at each scene. So
You said the suspect's name is Sean Locklear Jr.?
yes, middle name Tobin.
Can you spell Sean?
Let's see.
S-H-A-W-N. Tobin, T-O-B-I-N. Locklear, L-O-C-K-L-E-A-R Jr.
And again, the deputy's name is Deputy Jonathan Walters, common spelling, and Deputy Kaelin, K-A-E-L-I-N, Locklear.
Maybe it's a little early, but when you look at going after a suspect that's dangerous to someone like him, committing murder and doing the things he's done, will you change the way you approach someone like him as opposed to, I'm assuming deputies had vests on, maybe not, that kind of thing? Would you change your policy in that?
We really don't know. I don't even know what led them up here this morning. We know.
They got a call for a locate. Somebody had information on where he was located.
Yeah.
They were following up on the tip.
Yeah.
Yes. For the record, there have been several calls about this individual from community members. As the sheriff stated, this is a great community, and several people have wanted us to locate this individual, and we've came out and responded several times. And today was one of the days that we followed up on a call for service to respond to a possible locate, and that's what led us to that location.
Did he know that well, he cut off his ankle?
Oh yeah. He definitely knew he was wanted. He, again, pre-trial. Go back and look up the history of pre-trial. Pre-trial with an ankle bracelet. I used to complain about people being on pre-trial for drug dealing. Well, you can wear a bracelet and sell drugs out of your yard with a bracelet on your ankle. I mean, that's really not deterring anything. But to give a bracelet to a murder suspect that's already out on bond for armed robbery, that's unbelievable. It's just unbelievable. And I'm not the only person discussing about it. I've had multiple sheriffs in the state call me today after finding out about what happened here, and they're discussing it as well. I just came back from a sheriff's conference last night in Cherokee, and some of this stuff was discussed there.
Do you have any ideas of the origins of the Glock switches?
No, it's being investigated by ATF task force officers.
Just real quick, pre-trial release versus, because in North Carolina, I always assumed that there was no bond for murder. So how?
Well, back in my day, and I say back in my day, I'm talking back in the 80s and 90s, I've been doing this for 40 years. That's the way it was. And also, if you were out on bond on a felony offense and you committed another felony while you were out on bond, that bond got revoked, and now you got 2 bonds on you. But all they do is just keep stacking the bonds and keep stacking the bonds. And they'll try to use the excuse about the jail being full. I'll find room. There's many jails in the county. We have a lot of inmates not in other counties. I can find a room for a murder suspect. All right, I appreciate y'all. Thank you. All right, thank you. We'll have more information for you soon, I hope.
Yes, sir.